So hi, one of the Good Nights Podcast with Backup Kid. We're gonna ask him some questions today. I'm gonna start. So, what inspired you to start the project, and what does the project name mean?
So I have always sort of been into just like writing music. I had a band in high school and we wrote an album and I mean it was just sort of always been for fun. So when that band broke up and I moved to college, I still wanted to like write and put out music and stuff. So I just decided to make Backup Kid, and as of right now, it's just me. But I'm talking to some people right now, and we're looking to get a full band started.
Oh,
And the name doesn't really have that much significance. I could probably make up something funny,
Hmm.
but I don't know. I think subconsciously. Have you guys ever heard of Roswell Kid?
yes, the name rings a bell.
It rings a
Yeah,
bell, yeah.
yeah. So they're sort of like they're a band that I listen to a lot, and I guess sort of subconsciously I must have remembered the name Kid, and I don't know. Backup Kid is sort of like, hey, Backup Kid, or like I'm like a like backup for someone who would be better than me.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of like a
Oh.
humbling thing. I don't know.
Hmm.
Just,
All
Okay,
right.
that's still
yeah.
cool. Yeah, that's cool. So, congrats on your newest release. Goodness
Thank you.
gracious. How do
Thank
you
you.
felt the response to it so far? Of course, yeah.
So I like I said before, I just sort of enjoy making music. So I didn't really have any expectations going into it. I was just sort of doing it for the fun of doing it. And it's been really awesome. I definitely didn't expect it to be nearly as big as even if it's like relatively not like big, it's still big for something that I just sort of put out there.
Yeah.
Um, and I posted on the subreddit, the DIY emo subreddit, if you guys aren't aware of it. And I found someone named Frederick Peepee. I don't know if you guys know him from Twitter.
We do.
We do.
Yeah, it was and so he was sort of the first person to back it like really heavily and sort of push it onto that DIY Twitter scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the support came after that happened, which was a couple months after the release. And that was really cool. It sort of revitalized my like uh, how I felt about it and just the overall future of Backup Kids. So it's been awesome. Definitely more than I ever expected, and I'm super
Yeah.
grateful for it.
All right.
Yeah. I'm very happy for you. That was very nice of them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, is there any meaning behind the album name or cover art?
Yeah. So I was very passionate. I was living in Richmond, Virginia at the time.
Oh.
I just moved from Nova actually. So I was really passionate about the place. I just really enjoyed it. And so the images from the album cover are actually pictures, reference from pictures that I took at Hollywood Cemetery, which
Oh.
is one of the like sort of touristy attractions there. But it's a really
Hmm.
cool place.
It is, yeah.
And so I was just sort of inspired by the statues that like looked like they were mourning over like lost loved ones and stuff, but then all of, like the beautiful foliage around the cemetery. And so I sent that. I have an amazing friend, Jake, who does art, and I sent that to him, and he sort of mocked up everything. And it's sort of related to the album title because you have like that's like so I came up. Sorry, this is sort of jumping all over the place,
It's
but
okay.
the album title is like when some like if something bad happens or something you're not expecting happens, in the old times, oh goodness gracious, oh man,
Hmm.
like goodness gracious. But also when with the comma that separates the words, there's lots of goodness in my life, and I'm very grateful for it. Um, so that the image in the title was sort of like a play on like hopelessness and then fruition, and that's sort of what the album name means too.
That is so cool. I really like that. That's
Yeah.
that's sick. All right. So can you tell me about your writing process for this album?
Yeah. So most of them, as I said, I'm sort of by myself right now, or like with the group. So I didn't really have any ideas to bounce off of people. So what I would do is I've got this looper pedal that one of my friends got me for my birthday, and so I just come up with a riff or like maybe a chord progression that sounds interesting, and then if I'm feeling into it enough, I'll sort of play it on the looper and then come up with it, and then I just sort of form the structure of the song around that. I don't really have a specific process, but yeah.
All right.
Hmm. Solid.
So what song took the longest to write, and what is your personal favorite?
Okay, so the song that took the longest to write from start to finish was "Waking Up," which is the second track on the album. And I had created the opening riff on bass about like a year before, and I ended up actually like when you write something and then it ends up being another person's song that's already been written. It was just sort of like hiding in your head.
Yeah.
I probably wrote like 2 or 3 Roswell Kid songs off of that riff, just like chord progressions and stuff. And
Yeah.
I kept on thinking they were cool, and I showed it to my friend, and he'd like pull up Spotify and be like, "Dude, you're just playing this."
Aw.
And so after a couple of those, that happened a couple times, I finally just said fuck it and went along with one of the songs that sort of sounded like Roswell Kid, but I changed up the melody and the lyrics a lot. So that probably took the longest to write. And then my favorite track is probably a song called "Ode to the Kitchen in My Bedroom," just because I really like the dynamics in it, and the vocals in the slower section are really cool. And I really like a lot of the inspiration came from Prince Daddy. Just 'cause I've really been into them the last couple of months and past year. And so I think that song sort of embodies my inspiration for them just by the way it sort of changes up so drastically in the big guitar solo at the end.
Okay.
Solid. That's really cool. Yeah. So, can you tell me where your headspace was while creating this album?
Well, so I actually started recording it when COVID first started. That's when I really found the time to like say, I've got like sort of these ideas that I haven't really like fleshed out. And I was like, all right, I'm going to sit down and really start working at it. So, and I had a couple of friends at the time that didn't really have the same level of motivation as me, and they didn't really want to work with me. And I was kind of disappointed about that because they're my friends, but it sort of lit a fire inside of me. Like, okay, I'm going to grind this out. I'm going to do it. I'm just going to make it. It's going to be my thing. And so I had a really strong sense of like motivation just to write something and get it done, because I'd spent a whole year living with these musicians that weren't doing anything. And so it just frustrated me. And I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to do something. I'm going to write it out. I'm going to record it, and I'm going to do everything. And so I just had a really strong drive that I don't think it would have been possible without just a mixture of the free time because of COVID. Thankfully, I'm blessed about that. And then just the motivation that I've been sitting on for a long time.
Yeah. So this was almost like you proving yourself a little bit.
Yeah, proving myself to people who didn't really like believe it, and sort of proving it to myself that I could do something that I enjoyed.
Yeah. Sick.
So this question should be like super, super quick and off the top of your head. I want you to describe this album for new listeners in 3 words.
Fun, playful, deep, and then I don't know, rock and roll, but as one word.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll
Rock, hyphen,
hyphenated,
and hyphen roll. Yeah.
Okay, all right, sick.
Yeah.
So you like basically just released this album earlier this year, but are you working on anything new? Like album, EP, singles, covers, maybe?
Yeah, so I'm actually doing a cover compilation for, I can't really say much about that yet, but I'm doing one of those, and I'm really excited for it. And I also have some really big news coming in December.
Oh.
I've actually been working with Knife Punch Records.
Oh, as you should.
And Sleepy Clown, sort of, because they're just sort of starting out. And so we've got some stuff cooking up that I'm really excited about. We've got some cool names, and you're gonna hear some songs that are old but new, like songs that I wrote previously, but like sort of revamped on something that is coming out that you might be able to buy.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Secrets.
Okay.
And then, sorry.
I think Knife Punch might have told me what you're talking about. I can't remember.
Oh,
though.
really?
They tell me like everything that they're going to be doing, and then I just forget everything.
Yeah.
I'm actually doing 2 things with them.
Yeah, they're like, talk to this band because we're doing stuff with them, and ask them about it. And then I'm like, yeah. And then I
Yeah,
forget
and-
what they told me about the whole asking part. So
Yep. And
Nice
then
job.
they're like, don't talk about it at all, but like ask them about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, okay.
So, yeah.
Solid.
so where do you see this project in the next 5 years?
So I think this is sort of, it can either go two ways. I think that if I find members that are really down for it and that want to play, I could see just that working out and us making new music together, and maybe hopefully touring off of that when it's safe, and just writing together as more of a group than just me. That's like one way that I could see it going. Or the other way is just it continues to just sort of be like this passion project, this name that I have to release music under if I ever like get inspired again, or anything, like if I ever just feel like releasing something again.
Yeah.
But hopefully it goes with the band way, because that's really what I want to do.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right. So for the last couple questions, we're actually going to shift away from music, if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to go straight to death row then. So
Boom.
if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with a drink?
Double boom.
All right.
The questions get harder from here.
I know.
so-
I know.
yeah.
Let's see. I think I'm trying to think of like a home cooked meal or something, but I think just like a New York strip steak,
Mhm.
butter basted.
Mm-hmm.
I've been sort of cooking a lot of those lately, and I don't know, they just hit the spot.
All right.
And then maybe like, I don't know. I'm a big like cold glass of water guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I enjoy water.
It's good.
I mean, as you
So-
should.
Yeah. Stay
I mean, I
hydrated.
hope. It's like probably just like a big glass of water with a disposal or a reusable straw. The straw
right.
drinking experience is unmatched in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Wait, I have to ask because you mentioned water. How do you feel
Yeah.
about sparkling water?
Okay, see,
Oh.
I'm not a big fan of subtlety.
Okay.
So like if I'm drinking, like the fizziness doesn't really bother me. It's like the
Mhm.
subtlety of the flavor.
okay.
So like
That's
like
fair.
like I'll enjoy like a soda every once in a while, but it's just like a hint or like a ghost of a flavor. I want
Mhm.
something that I can sort of. It doesn't really feel like it's like quenching my thirst. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
refreshing.
That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm-
Yeah. All right.
I mean, worst. I mean, I'll drink it. I'm not like a too picky
Anti.
about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not anti. I just rather have a nice cold glass of water.
All right.
Respect that.
Mhm.
So if you could live in one fictional world for a week, where would you live?
If I lived in the world, would I be like integrated into the culture of the world? Like, would I? Like, if I wanted to live in Harry Potter, would I be a wizard? If I was in Pokemon, would I have Pokemon?
Yeah.
Or would I just exist in? Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's a very hard question.
I know it is. I don't know. I'm a diehard Pokemon fan, so I'm
Okay.
sure you guys get that a lot. But
Mhm.
yeah, I think it would be Pokemon for sure. I've been playing the games forever, and up to
Okay.
the latest ones. So yeah, Pokemon.
Yeah. Yeah. You mentioned Harry Potter, so again, I have to ask, what house are you in?
Oh man, see, I think I'm in Hufflepuff. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't feel confident enough to say I'm in Gryffindor, but yeah, Hufflepuff.
Okay.
I think.
I can respect that. I respect that. Hufflepuff. All right.
Yeah.
So I have the honor of asking the last question. Every
Okay.
single person we've spoken to has said it's the most important question.
All right. Yeah.
What's your favorite color? Mhm.
Maroon or maroon or like forest green.
Ooh, yeah.
Just
Taste.
any like navy blue, like any dark, like muted, but definitely like maroon for my first one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sick.
Yeah.
So as Glory said, that is all the questions we have today. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
Yeah, I guess just listen to Goodness Gracious if you haven't. Give it the chance. And then just stay tuned. Follow my Twitter, Backup Kid VA on Twitter, and we have something really cool coming up in early December. So definitely just stay tuned for that.
All right.
Solid.
That's where we'll leave it. Thank you for sitting down with us. This has been Backup Kid, and we're the Good Noise Podcast.